Well, the other three guys were in the pickup behind me, so they got a good view of skillful driving. I got her back, and I was a little bit, but I got her, and we got home, and Bruce went down and changed his underwear. Well, then later in the evening, when they were having their cocktails, and I neglected to tell my wife about this. I'm thinking about going slow. One time, Lou and I, we went to church in Hamadan, and when we come out of church, and you know, I suppose we had 9 kids. And Johnny Tompkins came down running down the street towards our church there, and he said that Roy Coots from Rame was loading a big 8-foot squash culvert. There were 2 handyman jacks, and it slid off. You know, he had the truck box tilted up, and he was trying to back whatever. But anyway, he was under the culvert, so I had a 9-passenger wagon, Monaco Dodge with a. Anyway, we went up there, and I remember the damn car was new, and they loaded the guy on. He had a squashed, crushed hip. And they loaded him on a grain door board. Grain door boards are about this, and they put them in box cars. When you load wheat, they slide these boards in. Well, it's about this wide and 6 foot long, or 5, I don't know. Put him on a grain door board and slid him in my new station wagon, and it had a nail through it, and it ripped the carpet all the way. Well, anyway, we got him in. I left Lou and the 9 kids standing on the church steps, and we got him loaded in there, and I said, well, who wants to go along? And my speed driving is a little notorious, and different guys said, well, you go, you go. Well, who got in but Dick the Digger? Dick Tompkins never drove over 35 miles an hour in his life. I remember he was digging a well for me, and he'd bought a new ton GMC pickup in 1949. And when I saw him at Clifford, near him 2 miles north and a half a mile west coming, I still had a half an hour, you know, before you get there. But anyway, old Dick the Digger got in, and we were going past Cornish Schmidt's, right, coming half a mile from the county line, those 2 curves I'm talking about. And he said, there's a curve coming up. I said, yeah, we got to get down to 100 on the first one. So I started around the curve, and he's got both hands on the dash, and we got it to New England, headed north. And there used to be a supper club about 3 miles north of New England. We call it the Bomber Club. And we're going by the Bomber Club, and he leans over and looks at the speedometer, and I'm about 134, and he just slouched down in the seat. I slid up in front of the Dickinson Hospital, and I think it was 34 minutes from Hamadan, which is, well, anyway. And they come out with the stretcher and stuff. The sheriff called and said it was an emergency. And they started digging, they opened the front door and started digging Dick out. I said, no, it ain't him, it's the guy in the back seat. I'm going 130, 135 miles an hour, and Pooch is saying, Walt, kick her in the ass, kick her in the ass. So Dick he opens the door and puts his feet on the pavement, and I said, you coming in? No, he said, I'm just gonna sit here. So 20 minutes later, I came back out, and he's still sitting there, and I get in. He said, we aren't going to go that fast going home, are we? But I got to driving Lou. We had our first Barbara, Adrian Vidette, and Brian. 23rd day of July, and Brian coming. So, I had a 51 Ford with overdrive, and the damn thing was only going 104 miles an hour, and the Blues started having pains about 2:30 in the morning, and they were 3 minutes apart, and she said, well, let's go as far as New England where Grandma lived. We live there now. But when I got on the Mike Cuffler, not even to the highway, the panes were a minute apart. And at overdrive 51 Ford, there was a switch underneath, and you push it too hard and it goes into under, you know. And I'd get her up to about 100 and pushing on a little more, boom, she'd go into underdrive. And anyway, by the time I got to New England, we were in a hurry. And at that time, the highway went through town, so about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd go through New England at 85 miles an hour.
Holy
And
shit.
was about at the memorial building, I got to thinking, when should I start slowing down for that tea? Well, I landed up on the grass in front of the public school. We got back on the road and headed, and coming into South Dickinson, there was a case dealership by the name of Pete Brodsky, and Lou wanted to stop and have the big bullshit. I come to the underpass in right before you get to Main Street in Dickinson, and I shifted that Ford into second, and I had a straight pipe on it, so it'd do about 92 in second. So I shifted into second. I headed up the highway, and I seen the red lights blinking, and I got her in the hospital, and we got in front of the registration. You know, that's a Catholic hospital, and I don't know how many questions they asked. When was the last time she went to? I don't know. Finally, Lou said, "I'm going to have it on the floor." So they took her, and when I got done registering, here was a cop. And I turned around, and I said, "What's on your mind?" And he said, well, I looked at my watch. I said, well, about 35 minutes ago, I was asleep in bed 10 miles south of Amadon. And here come the nurse running and said, we never got Lou into the delivery room. Boy, he said, it's a good thing I didn't stop you. That's when I said I was sleeping. So we just started to have babies in Bowman, 25 miles. I took her down at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went home for breakfast. I did chores and went to the church dinner in Amadon, and I got down there, and then I went to the afternoon matinee, and that's it.
Did that cop give you a ticket?
No.
No.
I counted up my speeding tickets. An old captain, whatever his name was, in Dickinson, he was there, and he'd give me a number of tickets. And he said, how many tickets have you had? Well, I said, the last time I counted, I said I had 64 warnings or tickets. One of the first ones I got, I was driving a 48 Ford, and I was going down South Dakota. And we had a big, tall highway patrolman down at Bowman by the name of Paulson. And he stopped me, and he said, you're doing 81. And I said, well, I see signs 85, it's Highway 85. See? Well, he said, you damn fool, you get down on 212, you're going to kill yourself. Yeah, I always remember that. And Paulson, and there was a patrolman in Dickinson by the name of Lord. And maybe I told you this story. Lou and I and the kids, they had what we call a rosary priest. And he came to Dickinson and gave us a nice talk in the Ball Diamond. There's 1,000 people there. And we all promised to pray the rosary once a day, you know. And, so as we were getting in the car and going someplace, Mother sooner or later would think about the rosary. Well, it was 18 below zero and about the 20th of December, and we always take the kids to Dickinson wants to do their Christmas shopping. So by the time we got to Belfield, Mama thinks of the damn rosary, and it, like I said, it's 18 below zero. And I'd been down that day, and I had a flat tire. I went to Amadon, and when Clarence Miller dropped my spare tire out of the back on that 58 Chevy, the tire bounced up and busted the taillight. So we got to Belfield that night, and we're saying the rosary, and finally Adrian interrupted, and he said, Daddy, there's a blinking red light behind us. the windows were all iced up, you know, and here the Lord and Paulson came to the window. And when they quit talking, Brian in the back seat said, Holy Mary, Mother of God. And I thought, well, I said, officer, we were praying the rosary, and I wasn't really paying attention. But he said, as fast as you was going, you should pray the rosary. so he wrote me up for a broken taillight. So the stop wasn't nothing.